For today's topic, we will go over Bitcoin, where it's going, the current breakout that we have above 66K, what our stance is on that, my own as well as Simple Jack. We disagree or not, let's see. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, so I kind of want to start it with looking at the seasonality charts. I really like using these because it just helps me kind of give me a guideline of like what to expect in price action and like where we are in the cycle. So this tech sector is kind of like what I like, mainly because, you know, with crypto being in technology, I feel like this is the most like relevant. The first week coming into October, we had a bit of a sell-off in most of the markets. And then we had this like rally coming into mid-October, just like the seasonality studies was kind of pointing. And right now, I do think that there is supposed to be a little bit of another like retracement, a little dip, not too much. And then after that, it should just be like clear up from there. And then kind of going closer to the end of the year, you know, maybe possibly hitting all-time highs. Generally, usually buying at the end of the year has always been the most profitable for me. Usually in the months of October has always been my favorite. And I think we're just kind of seeing that right now in a lot of the price action.
So usually does Bitcoin have like kind of the closest correlation with the tech sector?
Yeah, I would say so. Bitcoin and then the altcoins as well. They all like correlate pretty well, I would say. Starting on Bitcoin, you know, it's pretty cool to see that we finally made a higher high here. You know, when you make higher highs, higher lows, that signals a bull market, right? So we got this like the first low, then we got the first high, then we got the higher low, higher high, higher low, and then another higher high. So this signaling like, okay, we are trending a higher. So that's kind of that's a very good sign. The only thing is that we are in this zone that I call the short reload zone. And this is typically where you find the fib ranges of 61.8 to 17.6. This is normally where you would find resistance. Or if you're looking at out from like the bottom side, you would find support. And these are like the areas where I would always like look for either shorts if it's in the short reload zone or longs in the long reload zones. And then as you can see, we kind of came right against the 17.6 and kind of got rejected. But we are still pretty early to this move and we're just kind of waiting to see the retest. I personally think that this is very good. You know, we do have this parallel downward channel as well. We seem to have just kissed the top of it right there. I don't know if you can see it, it's a little bit faint. But right against the 17.6, right against the top here. So there's a bit of a resistance. Ideally, we would like to see a break above there and try and go after these highs over here. If we can break above like 70K, you know, that would be the most ideal situation, giving us a bit more of a bullish scream. If we are to get a bit of a pullback, you know, a lot of people are saying around 64K is kind of where people are looking. I can kind of understand why, just because like, you know, we do have a bit of like support levels here. We got these original highs. So, you know, maybe we do get a little bit of a pullback before we make another move up left, or we just kind of blast right through. Who knows? But for me, like I wouldn't want to chase the market here in terms of like buying longs, especially on these daily charts. I would prefer maybe like a pullback down to like 38.2s. These are typically what you would see as like your first stop, and then a consolidation if this uptrend is to be continued. And so that's like what I see in Bitcoin right now.
So you have the fib from the top at like 73, I think?
Right? Yeah, so the fib range, so what the range I'm measuring is like the peak of this high, 73.65, and then the bottom of this low here, because this is like pretty much the range, right? This like from this high to like this low. So what I'm saying is like usually when the markets are trying to reclaim the previous high, these are the kind of like levels that you would expect to see a bit of resistance coming in.
Would you say like Bitcoin's like longer term uptrend is looking a lot better since like at least August? Like this,
I would say so, yes.
Yeah, last three lows looks pretty solid, right?
Yeah, like the fact that we made 3 higher highs as well. I'm very confident now. Like, okay, sweet. We got kind of like the thumbs up, like the green light in a sense. Also, like before I forget, like there's a hash ribbon signal that I follow, right? And this is like based on like the mining capitulations and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So right now we're back into recovery and we got the buy signal finally. So the fact that we got another buy signal, we made the higher high, you know, a lot of these like reasonings are kind of showing like, okay, like the buyers are stepping in finally. And it seems like the value is there. But I do just expect a little bit of a pause while we're in these short reload zones.
Ideally, like, so the 382 that you have is at 61K, just because like it's very close to that last low we had like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, ideally we don't go that deep.
No, yeah,
Yeah, like 62, 63 would be better.
yeah,
Like if Bitcoin's very strong. But I think there will be retrace. I wouldn't chase, but I think we should not look to be like short side bias anymore. This is clearly uptrend long
yeah,
term.
yeah. Yeah, like we broke like these trend lines, this downward trend line that we were scaling up of. Like there's a lot of reason for this like move, right? But yeah, I mean, ideally, if we get a pullback, hopefully we just come back into this like range here, that's like 64K ish, and then it holds, and then we can kind of consolidate and then continue to go higher. Preferably, would like to see some double bottoms, but we got this like wide one kind of right here technically, so.
I think as long as like 61, that 60K wick doesn't get broken, like we're all good.
Yeah,
That's all on the cards. Just that, like
yeah,
be cautious if that happens, but still that would be like uptrend still continues.
yeah.